This tutorial is about all the visual interface aspect and all the possibilities that you have to change the entire look of your module, and even to customize it to match your own stationery or anything that resembles maybe your company colors. Basically is to tune the system to actually mirror your own graphic designs. So to start, I'm going to talk about what we have here. So this is, in actual fact, a visual design, which is made out of a background on this section. In this case, it's just a white background. Then we have a plate on which all the products are presented. This plate is made out of three parts mainly. What's called the header. The header is the section at the top here, which includes these curved parts. The container, it's anything that fills in the part between the header and the footer. And it's actually an image that repeats itself. So it's a small section of graphic that just repeats all the way down, and that gives the impression of continuation. And the footer, for that I have to go right at the bottom, which is basically in this case an upside down image of the top part, but it could be completely different. But each of those have got specific sizes that you've got to work within if you want to actually alter them. So the first thing I'm going to do again is go into administration, and I'm going to go right at the bottom where there is an option for changing the visual design. So I click on this. Even though the tab has opened, it does need a tab rather than a little pop-up window in this case, because it needs a bit of space to display the preview. So as you place your mouse over the titles that are shown here, you will get a little preview of the actual interface that you're looking at. And there's a number already preset of completely different characters, different feel. You can have a wood cabinet, you can have just a wood paneling, you can have bricks, a simple white one, even water like a fish tank, and so on. So there's quite a lot that you'll be able to scroll through and decide what you want to do and what applies to you. The first thing I'm going to do is show you how you actually change the interface that you have. It's quite straightforward. I'm going to go to picture, which is this nice one here. We'll click on it and press OK. And when I go back to the module, it hasn't changed presently because in the memory of the browser, it is still got stored the images that were there previously. Now, it has actually been changed. It's been set to a different background altogether. And if you were to open this freshly or in another browser or anything, it would immediately reflect the choice that we've made. But for us to be able to see it, it's not always sufficient just to refresh the page, because again, everything is still in the memory of the browser. So we have to go to a section which is called History, again, and clear recent history. The main part that we're trying to clear is the cache and the offline web data, so I will clear now. In Chrome, it's slightly different, but the principles are the same. You just have to click your way around. And if I now refresh the page, we have a different feel altogether. And this is the one that we're going to play around with to try and edit it slightly. As you can see in the header, there is a section here which will always contain some sort of text, some data. So it is best not to do too much graphic work or of any kind within that section here. And if you look at the whole width, we could say that it's about a third. So we've got a third in the middle and a third at each end. That these parts are actually safe to work with without being masked by the text here. So let's go about trying to do some slight changes on this one. I go back to my style configuration tab and I go to this part here, manage designs. And the best thing, you can click on it, but it is simpler to just, in my opinion, to right click and to open the new tab, then at least they're next to each other. And we can see that we've got a series of folders, including the one that we're working on now, which is pictures. And inside each of those folders, there are a few files. We've got the back, it should be the background, the container, which is a section where all your products are displayed, the footer or right at the bottom, and your header, which is the one we were describing earlier, that we're going to do some modification. And the preview was simply a combination of all those put together so that you can have an idea when you put your mouse over the title of what you're actually looking at and whether you want to apply it or not. So we're going to start by downloading these. So let's go back up once first. And as you can see here, all these folders with their name are basically a visual interface, each of those. So if you didn't really like some, or you found it too tedious to scroll through all of them, and there's some that were no interest, you could simply use the red cross here and delete it. There is amongst those one that is totally blank. So although it is made out of these sections, they actually just completely blank and can be edited or just left alone. You could even leave it completely blank if you prefer the more Spark interface rather than one which is colorful, for whichever style suits you really. So I'll go back up, I'll go back to picture, and I'm going to place my mouse over back, in this case, back to JPEG, right click, and I'm going to save the link as, which basically means download it onto our computer, and you just press save, replace, because I've already done all this, so you repeat the process, right click, save, and so forth for these 5 files which are there. Now, the way we're going to edit those, I'm going to show you how to edit them with a very simple tool, a very simple graphic tool, which is Microsoft Paint. I'm not getting too complicated with what I'm going to do, so I don't need to use Photoshop or any other image editor, but you may be familiar with some other tool and you choose whichever tool actually suits you. And the first thing I'm going to do is to open, and I'm going to open the header. So did you recognize that section now? So that's the header, in which I was saying not to interfere too much in the middle third of this part. And depending what color you want to work with, this is what's called your foreground and this is your background color. So this one reacts to your left click and this one to your right click. So if we wanted something a bit less or colorful or less dark than black, we would simply pick, for example, this dark gray, here, and from now on anything that we draw or write would be in that color, and the background would be white. So I'm going to start by just adding some text. So I'm going to put here my for help. So that's fine. I'll make it a little bit smaller. That should then fit. And that's pretty good. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to save this. And to show you again another alteration, I'm going to use the back. And as you can see here on the preview, the back is just a plain white square, which repeats itself all over the page. So in order to see it better, I'm going to magnify it a little bit, and I'm going to go again with this dark gray, and I'm going to select a shape. Let's select a shape, and I'm going to design that shape here. That's quite good. Move it around, and I'm going to save that background. So we've done a few alterations, not many, but that's enough for the purpose of demonstration. And I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to create a new folder rather than copy it inside the one that already exists. And for that, I click new folder, and I'm going to call that one ABC, and open it and upload the files we've just finished with. So here they are. So those are all the files we've got there, so we can bring them up in one go. Top, highlight, press shift and click on the last one. That selects everything in between. Open and upload. And now I go back to my style configuration. I refresh the page to show that we have something new. And now we have ABC. We didn't change anything in the preview, so there's nothing that looks different from the one that was quad picture, but we know we've actually altered that. So I'll click on this one, and we do OK. And again, we have to clear the history, and we can reload the page. And here we are. We've now changed the background. We've put my company. As you can see, that's done a bit too far. That's a little bit too big. And at the bottom, we should have the text that we've entered here. So this is the fundamentals of how to actually use a template that already exists and just apply some personalization. Or you could indeed start with a completely blank one, and to show you what the blank one is actually like, I'll apply the blank one. History, recent history, and reload. And basically all the content is there, but there's absolutely no distraction whatsoever. If you click on a product, I'm going to pick one which had an image here. This is what you get. So on the side you still get all your groups, and that allows you to just quickly jump into a specific section, and basically we can write all products, and this is like a very clean spa, Spartan sheet. But if you want to go a little bit more extravagant, we have a bookcase. And this shows you how different the whole system can look, and what you can actually do by way of design. You can really go to town. Um, or you can have it very, very simple. So the rest is down to your own creativity. And I hope you'll enjoy playing with this. It's quite a fun tool. What's important to know is that when you exit from this tool here to the second line, I forgot to re-initiate that one. But if you went into a second one of your modules, this can have a completely different interface. You have to select the interface specifically for each module that you work in. It doesn't apply itself to everything. So what it means is, let's say you had, a menswear line and a ladies' wear on this side, or children, you could give it a completely different feel, masculine, feminine, childish, and so forth. So that's, I think, all you need to know at this stage. If ever I think of anything new, I'll let you know. It is likely that in future updates, that will be one of the areas where new designs are being imported, and you're also very welcome to share those with me if it's something that you think would be of value to other users, and I will make them available on the updates.